Well, guys, we got to talk about this. This is the 10th Spider-Man film, the 10th. Now, with that being said, is there a fatigue going around right now? Or could this be the best Spider-Man film to date? We're going to talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse movie review. And if this is your first time finding me and you happen to like this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. All right, so I'm a big-time Spider-Man fan through and through, one of my favorite characters of all time. When it comes to DC, my favorite character is Batman. When it comes to Marvel, my favorite character is Spider-Man. A lot of y'all thought I was going to say Captain America with Anthony Mackie and all that. Yes, he is my favorite right now, but overall, my whole life, I love Spider-Man. I mean, check out the collection. We got to talk about this before we get into the review. I got the original Spider-Man right there on DVD with Tobey Maguire that came out in 2002. Then I got the sequel, some consider still the greatest film of all time for Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, right there, baby. Yes. And then I don't know where my individual Spider-Man 3 movie is, but I still got my backup. I got the trilogy right there of the original Spider-Man film from Sam Raimi. Bam. Check me out. Now, we got to get into this right here. I also have the Andrew Garfield, The Amazing Spider-Man on 3D when 3D was a thing. You know what I'm saying? This movie wasn't that bad. And I also have this garbage fest right here. The Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. This is possibly the worst. B, why do you have it? It's a long story. I'll get into it when I tell you all my whole DVD, Blu-ray, 4K collection when I hit 50K subs. And then we got to go back to the original cartoon. Well, one of the original cartoons, not the original. We got this on DVD, the 90s cartoon Spider-Man, The Return of Green Goblin. We also got Daredevil versus Spider-Man. Yes, it's going down. Spider-Man, the Venom Saga. Yes, y'all know what it is. And Spider-Man versus Doc Ock. And now we got to bring it over to the MCU on 4K. We got Spider-Man Homecoming on 4K, baby. Spider-Man No Way Home. There we go right there on 4K as well. It's going down. Also got No Way Home on Blu-ray. Not Blu-ray, but 3D. Yes, I got all the formats. And then Spider-Man Far From Home, yes. 4K, yes. And also the prequel to the movie we're talking about, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I got all the spiders. I got all the mens. I got them all. That sounded crazy, but y'all get it, man. Spider-Man is my dude, and I'm really excited to talk about this movie with you guys because when this first film came out, right here, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I wasn't expecting much with this. I was like, okay, I don't really like the animation style. It's not really my cup of tea. But when I finally saw the movie, guys, I was like, damn, this is amazing. This is like one of the best Spider-Man movies ever. It's like competing with Spider-Man 2 that came out in 2004. So going into this film, you would think I would be excited, but I really wasn't. I was just like, I'm going to see the movie. Of course, they cannot repeat the same thing again. And of course, we're going to be talking about that. Now, this film, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, did get different directors, but the writers did stay the same with Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, and Dave Callaham. The only difference is I don't think Dave Callaham was part of Into the Spider-Verse. But of course, this is what Christopher Miller looks like. This is what Phil Lord looks like. They are known for the Lego movies. They wrote and directed those, and those are fantastic films. But then you also have Dave Callaham as well. If we just scroll down and look at his filmography real quick, he did Mortal Kombat, wrote that, Wonder Woman, the screenplay, The Expendables, and all that good stuff. If you're familiar with his work, let me know down in the comment section. But these three gentlemen right here are responsible for the writing of this movie. But my expectations for this was mild. I wasn't dreading the film, but I wasn't just super duper excited. But when first reactions started coming out, everyone saying how amazing this film was, I was like, man, I can't wait till I see it myself. I'm excited, especially with the Black and Hispanic Spider-Man. Let's get into it. But before we get into it, before I talk out about all my likes and dislikes and all the nitty gritty, let me tell you exactly what this film is all about. Miles Morales catapults across the multiverse where he encounters a team of spider people charged with protecting its very existence. When the heroes clash on how to handle a new threat, Miles must redefine what it means to be a hero. Now, guys, one of the first things that I really did love about this movie, not liked, but loved, is how they handled the multiverse. I thought it was brilliant. I'm a big fan of the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, over at Marvel Studios, but I have said countless times in past videos that they get really confusing when it comes to explaining the multiverse, a universe, a timeline, a dimension, etc. It's really frustrating, and even a geek nerd like myself, I'm like, y'all need to do a better job of doing this. I can't believe it, but I will say that Sony is doing a better job of explaining the multiverse much better than anything that the MCU has done, in my opinion. That was early on in this film, and it wasn't even that difficult. Just a few lines of dialogue, it just broke it all down and made sense. And I love the way they infused the multiverse throughout this film. I thought it was brilliant and one of the best parts of this movie. The next thing that I loved about this movie is the intro. It is a movie in itself, and you would think that it will focus on the main titular star. Of course, Spider-Man, we have multiple, but Miles Morales, but no, it focused on another Spider-Man that we knew from the first film, Into the Spider-Verse, and that's Gwen Stacy. I'll just go ahead and tell you that now. But my goodness gracious, it was so deep, it was so heartfelt, and I felt for her character. Seeing the arc, seeing the growth that she went from the end of the last movie just to the beginning of this one, and we're only in the opening credits, the opening of the film, just to see how much she grew, I was drawn in. She really has a dilemma that she has going on in her mind right now, and she does not know which way to go, which path to choose, which one is the right way to go. She's having a relationship with her father, and it is very, very complicated, and I like that about her character. She already has to deal with so much of being a superhero, but when you love people that are no longer there, and you have a father that's a police force member, a captain, a deputy, a sergeant, you know, you're going to be against a lot of obstacles. And the way that they handle that in just the first 5 minutes of this movie, I was like, damn, this is brilliant. I love this. And we haven't even got to Miles Morales yet. When we stopped leaving Gwen, I was like, wait a minute, I don't even care about Miles. I want to see more of Gwen right now. And I have to give it to Haley Steinfeld because she knocked that out of the park within this role. But now let's talk about Miles. Of course, we love Miles, played by Shameik Moore. He popped up in 2015 for Dope for Me, and I've been a fan of his ever since then. But he was great as well. I love everything that his character has to deal with as well. I'm also able to relate to him. Not only does he have to be a superhero that does not want to reveal his identity, he has to be black and he has to be Hispanic, and that comes with a whole nother universe of problems that you have to deal with, especially when you're a teenager. But I loved all the problems that he had to go through as well. I think this casting is perfect by Shameik Moore. I love the voice. I love the acting. He is a great talent, whether he is doing ADR or if it's his live action version on screen, even though I've only seen that in Dope, but I thought he was great too, and I loved his character. The next thing that I loved about this is all of the different Spider-Man. If you want a vast array of Spider-Man, you are going to get it in this movie. We got it in the first movie, but we got it even more in this second movie as well. And what they did was they didn't just give us a repeat of what we got from the first movie. We got some of the characters that we knew and loved from the first one, but a whole heap of new ones. And I loved every Spider-Man, all of them. Spider-Man 2099, played by Oscar Isaac. We also have another Spider-Man played by Issa Rae. Her character's name was Jessica Drew. Fantastic. I loved her. She is a pregnant Spider-Man on a motorcycle. How dope is that? Swinging and riding around on buildings. I didn't even know that existed. And as soon as I heard Issa Rae's voice, I didn't even know she was in this movie. Oh my gosh. But I was like, oh, that's Issa Rae. And she's doing great. And I loved it. I mean, these Spider-Man all have something in common. They all have similar stories, but they're also drastically different and distinct. And everybody got an opportunity to shine. Even though Gwen and Miles Morales are the main characters, Everybody got a great way to shine. This movie was also a beautiful display of all powers and abilities. I saw stuff in the action with the Spider-Man swinging around using their spidey sense and their agility and strength that I've never seen before. But then when you have not one, but two or 254, man, it is a visual spectacle. Seriously, web going everywhere, spider senses going everywhere, Easter eggs all around you. This is a dream come true for not just fanboys, comic book, superhero people, but all movie people in general. If you just love great movies, you're going to love this. The animation was dope as hell. I mean, my goodness gracious, it was like the most sophisticated rainbow ever known to man. It was chaos, but it was also designed and organized, and I loved it. They even had two different distinct types of animation going on at the same time. I don't know how to describe or the technical term, but I know when I was watching, I was like, damn, that looks clean as hell. I like how they're doing that. Animated, one version of anime, and then another version of anime, and then they threw some live action in there as well. And that just goes back to how great they did with the multiverse. I'm loving it, I'm loving it, I'm loving it. And then, come on now, I'm a black guy, so you know I love my music, you know I love my bass. The bass was thumping. It was hitting hard, them beats, I was bobbing my head. Oh yes, yes, yes. I will buy this soundtrack, I will buy this score and listen to it in the car, at home, while I'm cleaning, at the gym, wherever. It was a headbanger. I loved it, I loved it, I loved it. And guys, there was a few moments I was at the edge of my seat. I did not know who was going to live or who was going to die. The action in here was dope as hell. One of the things that I am disappointed with Spider-Man in the MCU trilogy is that we really don't get to see Peter Parker, Spider-Man, swinging from buildings in New York. We get that in this film times 32, and I loved it. Of course, Homecoming, he was just discovering his powers, and then he was over in Europe, and then in the third one, you know, they're really concentrating on the gimmick and the portals and Doctor Strange and all that. We actually get Spider-Man swinging from buildings, catching helicopters, buses, cars, saving people from falling buildings and bridges and all that. And again, it's not just one Spider-Man, there's a ton of them. And not only is it like 254 characters in this movie, there was over 1,000 animators they had working on this film. And it shows, man, they put all of the meat and potatoes into this film, and I loved it. And like the story itself, the score, the villain, man, like all around, this was fantastic. I really cannot think of anything that I did not like about this movie. Maybe a pacing issue in the middle, but other than that, man, I really can't complain. This was a phenomenal film. The best Spider-Man, and I love the MCU trilogy, I do. But I gotta say that I still like Spider-Man 2. That came out in 2004, better than that, and Into the Spider-Verse, this one right here. But y'all, this is definitely top 3 of the best Spider-Man movies. It may even be the best. I really gotta think about it. Only other films that's competing with it, in my opinion, is Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man 2. This may be the best. I really did enjoy this film. I really did. This was fantastic, y'all. This is one of the best comic book superhero movies I've seen in some time. Man, I got to give my rating for this. Y'all, if you like this video so far, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Help me reach 50K. But when I'm thinking about it, I'll go ahead and give my rating for this at the very end. But for now, guys, that is just my opinion. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. But if you do subscribe, guys, you're going to get movie reviews, series reviews, spoiler movie reviews, a weekly movie news roundup show, a weekly comic book superhero show as well, and also me talking about different shows that are streaming right now, trailer reactions, and some interviews as well. Guys, if I had to rate Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse out of a 1 out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 9.25 out of 10. Yes, a 9.25 out of 10. I'm trying to grade hard, but it was such a damn great movie. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this review, if you like this movie, let me know in the comment section below. Thumbs up, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.